Fix It Tony here. Thanks for clicking on the video. Today we have a 2018 Honda Civic. We had this one a couple weeks ago. We put some sway bar links, but we also noticed with the 138,000 miles, that one, we should start it on Valvoline Restore and Protect because the oil is starting to varnish the inside of this engine. Two, we're going to have to put a Serpentine belt and service the CVT transmission. All these things are very simple. You don't need a lift to do them. That's why today we're going to demonstrate doing it with just these ramps. We'll put those in the description if you need a pair. Something you can do in your driveway. It's not a big deal. We'll go ahead and get up on the ramps, get the oil drained. And if you look at these headlights, you'll probably see in another video I have, we've been polishing out headlights. It's a good idea when they're this bad to polish them out, because this thing, the headlights are not projecting not near enough light. So we're going to do that while we have it here too. All right, so we're up on the ramps here, and you want to set your emergency brake, but you also want to buy these chocks. It's just, you only need one of them. I mean, you can buy two, but you want to put this behind your rear tire. Just secondary safety. Emergency brake is good, but that just makes sure this car's not going to roll off on you. And you can see our headlights, how dirty those are. But first we're going to start draining oil, then we'll get underneath it and finish the oil change. But while the oil is draining, we're going to come up on top here and take care of these headlights. Okay, but it's pretty straightforward down here. There's a 17 millimeter. We already broke it loose with a wrench. We'll drain that, and then our oil filter's right here, which I've already broke that loose. So once I'm done draining, I can go quickly over there. Just kind of keep a rag near me here, so when this drains out, I won't pour oil over myself, which is always fun, especially when it's hot. I'll get this drained here. We'll also scoop it after. Ooh, that is black, and that is coming out a lot faster than I was expected. Okay, cool. We'll let this drain. I did it by hand, but these were pretty beat up, so I did have to bring the polisher out and really get in there. And I used this, I'll put in the description, it's the lens gloss from Masters, CJ's Master Formula. So this is what it looks like now. Nice, you can actually see out of it. There's the other one, that's what it looked like before. So we'll get that one done, and we'll continue with the oil change. Okay, so the oil finished draining. As you can see, these headlights look dramatically better. Just trying to polish them off. Again, when they're usually this bad, I usually recommend actually sanding them first, but I don't have a lot of time in my hands. I just wanted them to be clear so you can actually see the road. So anyway, we accomplished that goal there. So we'll go ahead and get under the car, finish our oil change here. We're going to go ahead and, that's still dripping a tiny little bit. Usually I go under the scope down here, but actually, you know what? Let's go grab the scope. Okay, so we have our borescope. We'll go ahead and put her in the hole here. Let's see what we've got going on here. So, see all that? Yeah, there's a lot of buildup in there. You see how black that is. Some carbon, some oil breakdown stuff, but mostly down there. Oops, that was hard to see a second ago. Got in a weird position. That's the bottom of the pan. So a lot of varnish. So we'll see what we do after an oil change here. We're gonna get her started on a Valvoline Restore and Protect, and we'll go from there. Okay, we got our drain plug. We're gonna slap that back on there. There we go, nice and firm. Grab oil pan. We'll go ahead and pull our filter off. And this oil comes gushing out. Kind of a warning to you guys. I'm not really sure. I'm not used to that gushing out like that, but that's what's happening here. So kind of be prepared for that. When you get a drain pan, just make sure you get a big one, and you kind of expect it to kind of shoot out like that. Maybe I'm just not used to doing this on the floor anymore. Maybe that's what it is. So we have to check to make sure that our gasket's off, which it is, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and clean the surface with a clean rag. You can see some of the varnish in there too. So this thing, you can really benefit from a good cleaning on the inside here. Clean engines are good engines. Build-up and varnish is not good for a lot of different reasons. We're going to put some oil on the gasket here, the new filter. Make sure that's not going to drip. We'll go and screw in our new filter here. And again, if you're doing Valvoline Restore and Protect, just make sure you use a good high quality, high capacity filter. Like, you know, the ones that are like 15,000 miles or whatnot. They're just suited better. They have more media in them, which means that they're going to be able to handle the excess stuff that's going to be going into it, because obviously, as you saw, this thing was pretty dirty inside. So we'll clean this off here, and then we'll move on to the next thing, which is we're going to work on the belt. Sorry, actually, before we go back up, we want to drain the CVT. We're going to do a drain and fill on this. So it's just a 3/8 ratchet end. So you're just going to put your regular 3/8 ratchet, and you're just going to break it loose, and it's going to be the nut here at the end. I like to use one of these because we see exactly how much we pull out. It's going to be a little bit higher than what you put in because the fluid is warm, and the fluid that's coming out is warm, and the fluid that's we're putting in is going to be cold. So there'll be a little bit of a difference there. So you can see, and of course, see, that's kind of the drawback of doing this on the floor, is it makes it a little more difficult to do this part. So I'm actually going to do this off camera because I need 2 hands. I'll tell you, I've been spoiled with a lift, because doing this without a lift is so much fun. And I'm being sarcastic. As you can see, I spilt a little bit. So usually when I'm underneath it, I can judge it a little better. When you're on the floor, it's a little more difficult, but it's still possible. I just lost a little bit of fluid on the floor. We'll clean that up. And then you have a magnet on here. You just want to make sure there's no chunks. You're going to always have a little bit of material on here. As long as there's no like actual debris on there, you're okay. So we'll go ahead and clean our magnet off, and we'll put this drain plug back in, and then we'll move on to, actually, no, we'll go ahead and put oil in it now and put the transmission fluid in now so we don't forget, and then we'll move on to the Serpentine belt. Okay, so this takes about 4.5 quarts of Valvoline Restore and Protect 020. I tell you, even the valve cover up here, it's kind of dirty. Kind of risking my life here, leaving it right there. I don't want it to fall, but there's some residue that was in there that I wiped off, so it's hard to get a scope in there because there's little holes. But we'll go ahead and add our oil, and then we'll go find our fill plug for the CVT. Okay, so to get to the drain plug, we had to pull the Airbox out, which is just not that many connectors. We're going to be putting the Idemitsu CVT fluid. This fluid I've had very good luck with. I used their Lexus World fluid, and the flare that I had, meaning like from second to third, once in a while, it would actually feel like it skipped a shift. It wasn't slipping, it was just, it wasn't acting right. I put this stuff in there, not this one, but the one for the transmission for the it's called WS, and it went away after about 2 weeks of driving it. No more problem, and the downshifting's better. So I believe in this fluid. This is a good fluid, and this is the type you're going to be using, Type H2. So we'll go ahead and pop this Airbox off and get in here. Right now we're trying to beat the rain, so cross my fingers. So Honda makes these very difficult to remove sometimes. You have 2 10mm here. That one stays in there. That one comes out. We look in here. This is where they mount here and here. It's kind of difficult to get to that one. You have these snaps right here. They like to fall apart, so have some spares available to you. Just get one of these tools for about $5. I'll list them in the description here. And there's 2 more here, and there's a rubber grommet that pulls out there in the left corner. This was an interesting thing we found here. Probably see that hole down there. That's where the plug goes, and yeah, it's not there. And if you look down below it there, you can see that it's hanging out right next to it. This is very disappointing. The only people that have touched this is the dealership, which means they opened it up to either add fluid or check the condition of the fluid. I'm not really sure what they were doing, but they didn't put the plug back, and the plug fell right there next to where it's supposed to be. Luckily, we didn't lose it, but you know, obviously the fluid's going to be contaminated, and this is going to create a drivability problem over the time if we hadn't figured this out. So this plug is really dirty. It's obviously been sitting here for at least a month that it's been. You can see the other hole that it was stuck in. That's actually the drain hole for like that area. Basically when fluid gets out of there, or there's water or whatnot, it drains out to that, to the bottom of the transmission. It's dirty all through here. I'm going to do my best to clean this out. Also going to kind of get an idea of how much fluid was actually lost through here, and then just cross my fingers. And again, just to fill this up, I drain this out, figure how much came out, and then I give it just a touch less. But actually, I put it right on the money because this thing's obviously been leaking a little bit. You want to clean this out when you drain it out, and then I just add what I took out. Makes it really easy, so you're putting exactly what you took out. So when we pull that bolt on the side, it should be right on the money, which I'm totally expecting it to be. So now that we have that done, we'll pull that, and we'll actually do what the dealer forgot to do and put the plug back in. So this is the exact reverse order. I actually didn't put the 2 tabs back on right here because I thought I had them, but I don't. So when I go to the dealer, I have to deal with everything. I'll get those 2 extra tabs. I put the rest in. Here, bolt down here. My light, it's not being cooperative right now. You have your bolt right there, your bolt right there, and then you slide the filter back in. It does need a filter. We'll order that. That's an easy replace. It pops right out. We'll do that when he brings it back here shortly. And then right here, we're gonna take the timing belt off. The serpentine belt off, and you'll see there's a little like nut looking thing right here. That's going to be the tensioner. We can go ahead and release tension on that, and this belt will come right off. So you can see, you just put the wrench on, it's a 17, you pull it back, and that loosens your belt. I need 2 hands to do this. I just want to show you it's done. Sorry, my light is not being cooperative. So this is not easy. You can see it tore my glove off. I was doing it. It's a 17 millimeter, and you're just going to pull it back, pull the belt off, and then you're going to go underneath the car, pull the belt off the bottom, which is the front. It's going to be AC pulley and the crankshaft pulley. Pull it around that, and then you're just going to pull this back a little bit so you can pull the belt in between the wrench and that, and then you're going to put the new belt in the same way. You can pull the wrench back and then put the belt in there, and then you're just going to slowly work it around. Down at the bottom in the front you have the AC pulley, and then you're going to work it around from the bottom on the crank pulley, and then you have an idler right there, and then looks like pretty sure it's the water pump right here, and then you have the alternator here. So you're just going to work it around there as you pull it tight, and as you're trying to push it on, you just got to take your time. It's easier if you have a good breaker bar, because you can just slip it in there and just kind of push, slowly but gently push it on. And again, while you, of course, don't have tension on it, but when it's all loose. And then the last part, pull the wrench back and then push it over your alternator pulley. So that's the way I did it. Took about 8 minutes, not too bad. It may take you a little bit longer. It isn't exactly the easiest. If you run into problems and you can't figure it out, you can take the wheel off, which adds more steps. And there's a shield in there, or you can turn the wheel over, which you can't do when it's on the left, so, or not on the ramps. But you can take that little fender out of the way and do it that way, but it's not necessary. The easiest way is the way I just told you. So anyway, we'll finish buttoning this up and we'll send it on its way. Okay, so we're in the car. We're in the oil change reset. You just want to hold down the button here, and this will take a little bit, but it'll reset as we hold it down here. Stand by. Maybe it's not that button. Oh, there it goes. So you had to hold it and then hold it again, it looks like. And there it goes. Sorry, I know it went blurry for a second. So hold it, it'll start blinking, and then you hold it again, and now you have your light reset. So anyway, you see 138,000 miles. The car still runs good. No gas in it, but it's okay. I think it's gonna be my friend's first stop after this. So nice and good to go. We'll check the oil level and get going. Once we were a little bit short, so we let it drain for a long time, and now we're right on the money. And usually these take about, well, it says 4.4, but it took damn near 5. So anyway, we're good and topped off here. Okay, we'll take her off the ramps. Again, I just wanted to prove a point. You can do this on ramps. It's not too hard. Beginning to end, oil change and everything else you saw me do, total of 45 minutes. I mean, it's really not that difficult. It is something you can do yourself and save a lot of money. I think when we initially got the estimate from the dealership that my friend brought to me, it was somewhere in the range of like $1,600 to do the sway bar links, spark plugs, which we did already. I'm sorry I didn't film that. We did the service on the transmission and the belt. Actually, I think we did more than what they asked, and an oil change. We did all that for under $500, and they wanted 3 times as much. And you would think you get better quality, but after you just saw that the fact that they left the drain plug off, which I still cannot get over that, left the drain plug off for God knows how long. It's been a couple of months since he had the recall done and they did this, so it's totally disappointing. Always verify the work that dealers are doing for you, because sometimes they have a lube tech do it, not an actual tech, and you get stuff like this. And that's what I'm thinking happened here, unfortunately. So just be smart, guys, and double check the work. If you could do it yourself, and you know, you can learn something, learn a little of the trade to help yourself, I highly recommend it. So in any case, we're going to wrap this one up and send it on its way. Thanks again for watching. Keep on liking, subscribing, sharing. If you can take a second and subscribe. 99% of you guys that watch these videos are not subscribed, and you don't believe how much it helps me being subscribed. So I would really appreciate if you can hit that button. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.